Welcome in, everyone, to the Talking Kentucky post-game show of what is a happy ending to a disappointing season as Kentucky upsets Louisville yet again for the fifth straight year, 38-31, winning the fifth straight Governor's Cup. And it was a win that sort of, in my opinion, makes up for a lot of the things that went wrong this season. I mean, you go on the road, you go into Louisville, they're 10-1. They have aspirations to even get into the playoffs still in some respects. They have a chance to go to a BCS bowl.
Yeah, they definitely could have got a New Year's Six bowl for sure.
They could have at the least gotten into the New Year's Six bowl, and maybe if a couple of things go the right way, sneak into the playoff. They really their only loss was to Pitt, and they really shouldn't have even lost that game. And so they really should be undefeated going into this game. And you go into Louisville on their senior day with the best chance they have to upset you in recent memory, and you still beat them. And it's no surprise to us Kentucky fans because, year in and year out, we just find a way to beat Louisville. And they're just Louisville. They're going to lose, right, Brad?
In my opinion, guys, that's the best win against Louisville since we beat Lamar Jackson.
No doubt. And Brad, I was there. I was in the University of Kentucky Wildcat marching band when we beat Lamar when Lamar fumbled. It was my sophomore year at UK. That was a heck of a game to go to. And when we were going into the stadium, when the band was marching into the stadium, and I always think it's low to boo the band or to make fun of the band, because
Right.
what are you gonna do? It's the band. And so, and Louisville always does, we went on the field with Louisville's band at halftime to play my old Kentucky home, and they still boo us. It's like, what are you doing? Booing the band playing my old Kentucky home. But anyway, that's beside the point. We're walking in. And they're all saying, don't worry, basketball season's almost here and all this stuff. I remember one guy said to me that exact thing in the stands because they set the visiting band right in the middle of a bunch of Louisville fans, really. You're not secluded at all. And somebody said, don't worry, basketball season's almost here. And then when Austin McGinnis hit that field goal to put us up to clinch the game, we leaned over to him and said, don't worry, basketball season's almost here. So that kind of thing. But man, that was great.
Really, now we can really dig them and say, oh, don't worry, basketball season's here.
I know, right. Oh man. And that's a whole nother thing. But no, it means a lot, right? I mean, it's what a win, Brad. I didn't necessarily see it coming.
I said, to me, this is the best win since Lamar Jackson. I mean, 2 years ago, what Will Levis did to them, jumping over top of them and everything, that was a pretty good win too. But I would put this one above that one, even with Will Levis's coming in the end zone, double L's down. You remember that a couple of years ago?
Oh my gosh. There's so many good moments. There's so many good. I mean, there's the year Lynn Bowden was our quarterback, right? We put a wide receiver at quarterback. He runs for like 600 yards on Louisville, throws L's down, says L's down forever, which became sort of a thing.
4 rushing touchdowns in that game 2 years ago. You remember him coming in the end zone with the double L's down?
He leaped over that guy.
Oh man, when not only did he leap over him, he was like 4 feet above him. I mean,
it's insane.
Like, hurdled the dude,
Tom Leach called him Superman.
Yeah.
On the call. Yeah. And then you have the past couple of years, we've just absolutely beaten the brakes off Louisville.
We had 47 offensive plays and scored 38 points. I mean, that is unreal, guys. Unreal. I mean, in the second half, we had two 2-play drives. We had a 3-play drive. We had a kickoff return for a touchdown. So, I mean, there was no plays being called, in this game, really. 47 plays in a football game is nothing.
let's look down here in the comments. We got Claude Hare in here saying "Go Cats, baby." It's good to have him back, on the football hype train, because I think he was certainly off it for a little bit.
Well, he was
Claude,
just disappointed in the way they played.
Yeah, we
And that's
kept
true.
your seat. We kept your seat warm, Clyde. So welcome back there. Josh Hart, the L's down forever there. And Ray Davis said that after the game, doing a
He
little.
did say it in his interview after the
Yep,
game.
a little
L's down
salute.
forever. He
A little
did.
salute to Josh Hart and Lynn Bowden there. Mike Dowd says awesome win. John Cornett has the L's down emoji here, or what we've made as Kentucky fans, the L's down emoji. Clyde says Loserville can't beat us when they're top 10. Caden Holmes, Kentucky beats Louisville is a broken record at this point. Lisa Marie Scott, go Cats. Mike Dowd, 5 in a row. By the way, not only is this Mark Stoops' 5th straight Governor's Cup, this is Brendan Bates's 5th straight Governor's Cup. How many Kentucky players have 5 Governor's Cups, Brad? Not
Might
many.
be Kenneth Horsey's too.
It could be. Kenneth Horsey's.
I think he was in his 5th year as well, I believe, with us. It might be Kenneth Horsey's 5th Governor's Cup win as well.
Mike Dowd, we had 47 offensive plays, scored 38 points, as we just said. Josh Hart, Ray Davis had 3 touchdowns and threw the L's down all 3 times. Yes, he did. What a game by Ray Davis after only getting 12 carries last week. Brad, I think you could have been the offensive coordinator this year, because you've said it all year long. Just hand the ball to Ray Davis and good things will happen. And when we've done that, good things have happened. So it's really as simple as that. It's not rocket science, right? So,
absolutely.
We've got Caden Holmes made a negative comment there, so we'll get to that in a second. Shane Bolton says, what about the wheels on Barry and Brown? He is so fast, it looked like everyone behind him on that kickoff return was moving in slow motion.
In that play, just talking about that play alone, it's like he was lightning and the rest of everybody else on the field was slow motion. He just run off and left
him. Mike Dowd says Chance Poore has 5, I believe. That's true. He probably does too. I feel like he's been on the team since the 70s. Clyde Hare, JJ Weaver had a great game, and I was so happy about that. He has had
JJ Weaver.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We needed him to have a breakthrough game.
Louisville. JJ Weaver is from Louisville. He's in his last year. For him to be able to come in, get a sack, get 2 fumble recoveries in the 4th quarter, to help secure this game was huge for JJ Weaver.
And we've really needed JJ Weaver to have a big year, honestly. And he hasn't had the year that we really needed him to, or hoped that he would have. But today, against his hometown team, he really made a difference. He got that fumble recovery. He had a big sack. Yeah, 2 of them. That's right. And he had a big sack there at the end of the game. Let's talk about the fumbles for a minute. We just had Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. You can't let the Louisville quarterbacks carry the turkey to the table, because they might drop it, right? Lamar fumbled, and cost Louisville the game, as we were just talking about. I was there for that, and then really that fumble cost them the game today too, ultimately, because that's what allowed us to get that touchdown to put us up, and then we almost, kind of screwed it up there when Leary threw the interception, which was an awful interception. But that fumble allowed us to win the game, and it's just one to add to the archives, Brad. Another Louisville quarterback fumble. So
huge play in the game, huge fumble recovery by JJ Weaver, and like I said, from him being from Louisville, he does so much giving back to the city of Louisville as well. He's such a good person. Been through a lot with his father actually being murdered. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but his father was murdered. So he's been through a lot, and to see, him be able to come in and, in his hometown and do what he did today was excellent.
It was. And now we'll get to Caden Holmes's comment here, which he also says, what you all call negative, I call realistic. But he says, I don't mind bashing Louisville, but what's up with our guys talking trash and trying to get in fights every game? We're 7-5. I feel like we aren't good enough to be doing all that. Well, it's different when you're playing Louisville because it's Louisville, and that's just what it is. Yeah, it's a rivalry. I mean, but to be fair, we've done that all year.
But they were talking about it, on the radio post game, because I was driving in and I was listening on the radio. And I mean, they were talking about the radio post game. People was even talking about how you could just feel the negative, bad blood in the atmosphere today.
Yeah.
That, that bickering back and forth with fans, with, on the field, to the players, and he's, they were talking about it. And that's part of a rivalry, Caden, I think. I mean, especially an in-state rivalry like we are. I feel like we also have that with Tennessee in football.
Shane says Deion Walker should be first or second team All-American. He is a beast. Yeah, that dude, what impresses me the most about Deion Walker is that, he's 6'6", 300 something pounds, and he's still able to move like 350, and he's still able to move like he's a DB or something.
It's humongous. It's insane. Did you see? You talking about? So it was a couple of maybe 1 or 2 games ago. Did you see him walk out? So they snapped a picture pregame. You know how they have 4 players come out for the coin toss?
Yeah.
Devin Leary was standing beside Deion Walker, and they snapped a picture from behind. Yeah. And I mean, he makes Devin Leary look like a kid.
He reminds me of that dude on Georgia a couple years ago. That was just a beat, number 99 on Georgia. That was just an absolute beast. Made everybody else look tiny.
He's huge. He's a massive human being. And to move like he does is really legit. I mean, he's legit.
We're going to try to take some calls here in a minute, because I really just want this to be a celebration. It's been a frustrating year. Because, you look back and you see what we did today, having 47 plays and putting up 38 points. I mean, the easy thing to do is say, why didn't we beat Missouri? Why didn't we beat Tennessee? Why didn't we beat South Carolina last week? I was shocked we only went in there up, put up 14 points, right? South Carolina, definitely.
But if you want to take a quick look back, I mean, let's be realistic, okay? Caden was talking about being realistic. Yeah. Here's a realistic take.
He's a realist.
All right. Yeah. We now have played 4 top 10 teams.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We played Georgia. We played Alabama.
And you weren't going to win those.
We played Missouri, and we've played Louisville. That's 4 top 10 teams, and I'm not even counting Tennessee.
Right. Yeah.
That's not even counting Tennessee.
Yep.
Who is still a top 25 team.
When you look at it from that perspective, it's like, you can be a little bit more sympathetic. I think Missouri is a lot better than we thought they were going to be, too.
I mean, I'm just trying to give Kentucky fans a little bit of perspective. Kentucky's schedule coming into this game compared to Louisville's schedule. I mean, I want to give you guys a little snidbit here of Louisville's schedule. There's 131 teams in Division I football. Louisville's schedule before we played today was ranked 115th.
It's because it's the ACC.
Can you imagine a SEC school having a schedule ranked that's 115th in the country?
I know. Well, and we can sit here
in a power conference and go through the entire conference because they were done playing conference games before today. They went through the entire conference and have the 115th ranked schedule in the country. That is plumb sad.
You know, we could sit here, you know, and bash Louisville all day, but you know, I may as well just read some stuff from the horse's mouth. You know, Vince Marrow just tweeted, all you media guys, which we didn't say this, to be fair. You know, I think this was mainly KSR that said this. They said, all you media guys, hello, we lost the locker room, laughed my ass off. We own this state no matter what. Go Big Blue. So that's, and he's been quiet. So it's good to see him.
Who you said it was?
That was Vince Marrow.
Vince Marrow. Okay, yeah. The big dog.
The big dog. Nick Rouse just tweeted, this is the highest ranked win of the Mark Stoops era. And it's speaking of Barry and Brown, we were talking about him. Oh man, this is a great.
Played good today. Had a great return. Played good today.
Yeah, no, he did. This is a great picture of the guys in the locker room with the Governor's Cup. I'll have to post that later. But speaking of Barry and Brown, how about the dude in the crowd surrounded by Louisville fans with the Barry and Brown jersey on, throwing the L's down? After Barry and Brown had a kick return. I thought that was pretty awesome. Yeah. So everybody sort of said, you know, dedicated this game to Freddie Maggard. A lot of people were saying that. You know, Freddie being somebody that's been on the show and everything, he did tweet out, grateful. I'll remember the 2023 Governor's Cup as long as I can. Thank you, Kentucky.
Yeah.
So that's definitely meaningful to win it for Freddie Maggard. He never got to play Louisville. We weren't playing Louisville steadily when he was quarterback.
That started in the late 90s.
I think so. Didn't we used to play for like no, that was Tennessee. When we played Tennessee, we used to play for the
Bourbon
Barrel. I think we should bring that back. That's cool. I think we should play for a Bourbon Barrel. I think that would be cool. Lauren Hayes says, realistically, Kentucky had a shot at those games, but our schedule far outweighs theirs. ACC doesn't even compare to the SEC, but we won, and I'm super excited about that.
And that's why, guys, if you watch my show, College Sportscast, all season long, I have been saying that Louisville is far outrated ranked right now, that they should not be where they are, that their schedule was weak as crap all season long. And, you know, I've been saying that the ACC is basically trash. And I've been saying this stuff on my show. If you watch my show, I've been saying this stuff all year long. I said before this season started, before Brom coached his first game in Louisville, I said that Louisville has a chance to make the ACC championship game. I looked at their schedule, and I told people that I'm in a group with College Sportscast. They're all ACC people, or most of them are. And I told them, I said, you watch, Louisville is going to make the ACC championship game. And they laughed at me. And I told them, I said, their schedule is weak as hell. The ACC is terrible. And sure enough, it happened.
Here's a video of Stoops in the locker room. I don't know what. Oh, it's a video of Mark Stoops breaking a stool in the locker room. I have not seen this yet. Matt Jones just tweeted this out. I'll try to hear this. I'll have to post that too. You can imagine what this looks like. I'm gonna commentate it here. Mark Stoops has picked up a stool and bashed it up against the lockers and broke it. So yeah, that's Stoops. Stoops is excited. Yeah, he's you know, Stoops doesn't get like that often. You know, he doesn't get that animated often. So that's good to see too. So we have to talk about this too. So I knew this was going to come up at some point. Mike Dowd brings up thoughts on Stoops. Speaking of Stoops, thoughts on Stoops to Texas A&M. So that all those rumors were going on before the game, and they're still going on. And I mean, here's my take on it really quick. It seems like it's a real thing. Like it seems like it's a real possibility because of the sources I'm seeing that are talking about it.
Pete Thamel,
Normally things like that are just sort of rumors that float around Twitter, but I've seen like legit people talking about it. They talked about it on game day. But my take on it is I think he would be really stupid to go to Texas A&M, because any school that's willing to buy out somebody for $76 million for having a winning season, that's a red flag to me. I don't think you should go to that school. And Stoops has got it made at Kentucky. Stoops could go 7-5, 8-4 here and keep his job forever. But if you go 9-3 at Texas A&M,
on a rumor that I'm hearing coming out of Texas A&M, and I don't know if this will happen, okay? But coming out of Texas A&M, I am legit hearing that Texas A&M is prepared to offer Kirby Smart anywhere from 20 to 30 million a year to leave Georgia and to come to Texas A&M.
But do you think that would he leave Georgia? Would he really leave that dynasty to go to Texas A&M?
Holy cow! I mean, Saban is the most, and he makes like 11 or 12.
So how much did you say he would make?
There, up to 20 to 30 million dollars a year that they are prepared to offer him.
I mean, they can do that because they're Texas A&M and they got the money for it. But where's all this money? So you're gonna pay.
Listen,
Jimbo.
I'm not saying Kirby Smart will do it, but money talks.
Yes, it did.
And bullshit walks. That's what I was always told.
Lauren says, I heard they offered him a literal blank check.
Yeah. Well. So I'm not sure these rumors of Mark Stoops and a couple of names that was mentioned today, I'm not sure that it's there. Those are not kind of a front to, you know what I mean?
Distract. I mean, we hear Stoops' name every year. Yeah. But
Texas A&M has the money, guys, to do far better than what Mark Stoops has done. Listen, I'm a Kentucky fan and I love him.
Yep.
Done a good job, but they have the money. They could go out and offer $30 million to Lincoln Riley, or they can offer $30 million to Kirby Smart, or they can offer $30 million to Jim Harbaugh, who's done a real good job at Michigan the last 3 or 4 years.
That's the other thing. I would be shocked. I mean, Mark Stoops is a good coach, but I would be shocked if Texas A&M's first choice was Mark Stoops. I mean, it just doesn't really.
I think they're trying to distract, is what I think.
To be fair, the same thing happened a few years ago with LSU. Everybody was saying Mark Stoops is going to LSU, and then who they get? They throw the bank at Brian Kelly, and he goes down. And that's probably the same thing that's going to happen.
Schools do. I mean, LSU done it to Brian Kelly. You know what I mean? Like, that's what
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if A&M goes after Brian Kelly. To be honest with you, and I wouldn't be shocked if Brian Kelly left. Just 'cause I don't think he's had. I mean, how many schools has he been out now? I don't think. Why would you leave Notre Dame to go to LSU? I mean, I don't think that's a step up job, to be honest. I think Notre Dame, it's luxurious because you get to make your schedule every year, right? You can still get into the playoff. It's much harder when you're coaching in the SEC, having to play Alabama every year.
Absolutely.
And
but money talks.
Clearly that's why he left.
And I'm not saying that Kirby Smart would do it. That's his alma mater. I don't think he would. But when somebody says, we will give you $30 million a year to come here, I mean, you got to at least seriously consider that.
Shane says, I think Stoops would only leave for Alabama, LSU, or his alma mater, Iowa. Or I would throw Florida State in that mix too. Doesn't look like Florida State's going to have a vacancy anytime soon. Now, here's an interesting one, though. Lauren says, I think Michigan will offer Stoops. Do you think if Harbaugh's out at Michigan, Do you think that's one that he would consider? Well, but why would you want to inherit that mess with
Maybe
everything that's
because
going
Stoops
on?
has all the ties in the Ohio, Michigan, in that area up there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe I could see that, Lauren.
But
that they would do that.
for
Michigan
today,
State just had an opening and they didn't do it.
Right.
Michigan
Right.
State just hired Oregon State's coach today. It was announced today.
Oh, is that right? I hadn't seen that yet.
Jonathan Smith, I think is his name. He's the coach at Oregon State. They just hired him today.
So we'll take a few calls here. But for today, Mark Stoops is still the coach at Kentucky, and we just beat Louisville, and we're 7-5. And we'll talk about too what bowl we might go to here. So tell us your thoughts on the Stoops A&M rumors. Give us your thoughts on beating Louisville for the 10,000th time in a row. And give us your thoughts on bowls, whatever. JJ Weaver's sixth finger, whatever you want to say. And we're already getting a call before I can even get the phone number up on the screen. I think this is Claude. And indeed it is. Claude's somebody that I have his number saved just because he calls so much. So what's up, Claude?
I was waiting on from the phone lines to open up. I was waiting. I was like, is he ever gonna come around? But nah, I'm just kidding. But man, what a day, man. What a win by the Cats. Yeah, I know. I said I wasn't gonna fool around and watch this game, but y'all know me. Y'all take me way too serious. That's how I am. Y'all know how I am. I say one thing, then I do the other. That's just the way I've always been.
Oh, we know. That's why we said that. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't take me too serious.
So I knew going into the game that we would have a chance because it's Louisville, but I'm still kind of shocked that we won. So it's still kind of I'm still getting used to it, But
great comeback. We were down 10 twice.
So did you see all the game, Claude?
Yes, I watched the whole game. I was there for like even after the first half. When it was 7-10, I'm like, this is a lot closer than it really should be. But we're in this game.
Yep.
And we got a whole nother half. And then, I feel like Afterbury had that 100-yard return. We was down,
that was huge.
17-14. I'm thinking in my mind, we're going to win this game. We're going to win it.
Yep.
And then not only that, wait, who? No, because Louisville scored and they were up 24-14.
Yep.
And then we scored again. But the game changer was probably that fumble that I can't remember.
That's right.
What was the score for the second fumble that we had? What was that score?
It was tied. It was 24-24 when that happened.
Okay. So yeah, and that was what, the third quarter?
No, I think that was the fourth quarter. Then we went up 31-24, and then Leary threw the interception, right?
Yeah.
And then they tied it up, and then we went down and scored again with the Ray Davis third touchdown, and that's what sealed the game.
Yeah,
so
with a minute to go.
Why don't you just take the sack? Why even throw that? You just take the sack and you punt it and you move on. You don't, because right after they got that interception, they scored, and I'm like, okay, this is a very important drive. We have to win this. We're going to win this. And, man, I tell you what a heck of a fourth quarter. That is the best fourth quarter I have seen Kentucky football play in a few years.
And I was not expecting that going into the game today, but it was certainly a pleasant surprise. But
sweet baby Ray.
Does this take away from or take away some of the pain from earlier in the season for you?
Yes, because this is the biggest win, in my opinion, and this is the biggest win, like Dick Rouch said, this is the biggest win in the Stoops era against a top 10 team. You know what? Yeah, we should have had a better season, but nothing is better than being a Louisville team when they're top 10 on their high horse, coming and thinking, we're just going to beat little old Kentucky. No, Louisville, we're your daddy. Remember that. And the Governor's Cup is ours, and that's ours, and that's been ours. And Louisville, you don't run nothing in the state. You might have a bigger city. You might have, Jack Harlow, but you ain't better than Kentucky football no matter what your ranking is.
Do you see Jack Harlow flipping off the Kentucky fans? Y'all see that? That's not going to age well. He's going to be a meme now because of that. So
I've already
he's
seen
already
it.
all over Twitter.
I've already seen it.
I didn't even see it live, but
yeah.
Are you guys going to do a show before the Miami game or after the Miami game?
We'll probably.
I know you don't know.
We'll probably do a post game for the Miami game.
Okay, so no TK takes, just like a regular post game after the game.
We probably will. Yeah, with some of the TK's takes with some of these small teams, we don't have any really new things to say, so we're not doing one after every game. But yeah, we'll probably do a legit post game show after the Miami game.
Last couple of days, we got the Jack Harlow memes now.
Well, I figured I'd just ask to know ahead of time.
And we're gonna have the Dolly Parton memes.
Yeah. Oh, the Dolly Parton memes too. Yeah.
Oh, the Dolly Parton memes. Yeah, those are. It's crazy. How old is Dolly Parton?
She's 70. She's 77. I think my
77.
I think my favorite one was I saw one that said when Dolly Parton first came out, I thought it was the Dallas Cowboys honoring a cheerleader from their last Super Bowl. I thought that was a good one. Well, Claude, man, thanks for calling in.
We're 26 and out here dying, and she's 77. Like she's 27, but whatever. But yeah, man, great win by the Cats. Governor Cup is ours for the 5th year in a row, and boy, it feels good to add to that trophy case. And I can't wait for the ball game. I'm really excited to see where they put us. They might put us in the Mississippi Bowl. I don't know, but where they put us, I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited. This win's got me back in, and I needed something like this just to get back in to be dialing again, and I'm glad I didn't really give up on her. My posters said otherwise, but I stuck to them, and you can't say I didn't.
That's right, Claude. Well, thanks for calling in, man.
Right. Absolutely, go Cats.
Go Cats. Another reason this was a big win is going into the postseason and going into the off season to keep the fan base, or at least make the fan base feel a little bit better, because it could have gotten really ugly. Yeah.
Because signing period's only like the early signing period's like 3 weeks away.
And we've been owning Louisville in recruiting. Like we've been able to just walk into Louisville and just get whoever we want. Like players that grew up like basically on Louisville's campus, we just go take them. If Louisville won this game today in Brom's first year,
Jeff Brom is a good coach.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If Brom would have won this,
he's also a pretty good recruiter. I don't think he's a top-notch recruiter, but he can develop guys too. I mean, at Purdue, he had a walk-on quarterback that he developed into a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a good coach. So getting him at home in the first year, and then next year we get them at our place, and then if we can knock him off in year 1 and year 2, it'll set a stage and a precedent. You know what, Brom, as good as you are, you still can't beat Kentucky.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Louisville, even in your best year, one of the best teams you've ever had, you still can't beat one of the worst teams that we've had.
Same thing happened when they had Lamar Jackson. That's the reason why I brought that win up.
Yep.
Yep.
But that's what I'm saying about it. This could have been a huge recruiting swing in Louisville's favor if Brom beats us in his first year, and then having a mass exodus at Kentucky, like Shane says here. This win was huge for recruiting. If we lost this game, I expected a mass exodus in the offseason. But that didn't happen. So between last night with Kentucky basketball scoring the most points it ever has in the Calipari era, and today knocking off Louisville,
it was a good weekend.
It was a much needed good weekend for a Kentucky fan.
I mean, last night, I'll be honest with you, last night's game was just a joy and fun to watch.
I think we're getting another call here, probably from Josh. Well, we
reminded me of Patino's Bombinos, and I don't know if you Kentucky fans.
Patino's Bombinos, yep. Patino's Bombinos.
Remind me of.
I think we were getting a call from Josh, but he hung up. It looks like so. Josh, call back. if you so desire here, and I'll take your call.
Just so you guys know, the talent we have is way more. But that 89-90 team, Patino's first year, man, they just had fun. They spread the floor, threw it up from anywhere, and they had the nickname. We couldn't go to the tournament. You know, we were 14-14 with a bunch of Kentucky boys, and their nickname was Patino's Bombinos.
Bombinos. That's right. The Patino's Bombino. Well, that's certainly felt like the Calipari Bombinos last night. It was good. And man, Reed Shepherd's so good, man. Like that kid's awesome. But we'll take more calls here. If anybody else wants to call in, 502-234-1504 now. I think we're getting a Josh call. What's up, Josh? L's down forever.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Sorry, I was having problems with my phone. I can't get a signal, so
no, you're good, man.
I am in Eastern Kentucky, so it's hit or miss in here.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Well, how are you feeling about the Cats?
Well, I mean, yes, it was not the season we wanted, but anytime we beat Louisville at Louisville, like Clyde said, and they're ranked top 10, and all this week, we never heard nothing from the Cat fan base, and everybody had really just checked out. But I mean, it was great. I mean, I had all kinds of emotions, especially when Larry threw that pick, and I was like, why do you hate us, Devin Larry?
Yeah, I did not understand that. I was like, that may have been the worst.
He just chucked it, and it was a duck. And as soon as he threw it, I said it's picked.
Yep. As soon as he threw it up, I was like, there's like Louisville's entire team is standing there ready to catch it. I'm like, oh no.
Well, think of it this way. It was 10-7 at the half. The first half, Cohen was in the booth. Cohen comes down from the booth, and it changed the whole perception.
Oh, you're right.
In my opinion.
I remember seeing him on the sideline, but that didn't even register in my brain because I'm so used to seeing him on the sideline.
Somebody's been saying this all year long.
Brad has been saying this all year long, and you're exactly right. This is another reason, Josh, you and Brad could have been the offensive coordinators here this year.
I mean, guys.
I mean, you got to think at this point that really has something to do with it, right? He goes up in the booth,
for the game.
Takes it away.
Needs that feel for the game.
Yep. Why do you think he came down? Why do you think he decided to come down finally? I mean, beats me.
I think he saw that they were struggling, and he really wanted this game bad. And he's like, you know what? I'm good enough to come down. It's a nice warm day here in the Commonwealth. You know, it's not too cold. It's just perfect football weather. He's like, I'm going to go down and be with my guys. I'm going to go down and be with my dudes. And I'm telling you, I think that was a big positive boost for the team today. And I think that's why we played so well in the second half. I mean, we had back-to-back plays.
Josh, we scored 31 points.
One was a 55-yard play, and then Ray Davis took it in on that like little curl route thing. He did in the end zone and caught it. I mean, that dude was spectacular today. 3 touchdowns, one rushing, 2 receiving, I believe, or maybe it was 2 rushing and 1 receiving. I can't remember.
And again, it's like a love-hate relationship because he's great when we give him the ball, but why haven't we given him the ball? What would have happened if we just fed Ray more, especially in the South Carolina game? But Matt Jones has a stat here. Kentucky scored more points in the second half today than they did in any game last season. More points in the second half today than any game last season.
At halftime, he was out of the booth. They scored 31 points in the second half.
Yeah. But Josh, is this sort of make up for a lot of the disappointment? I'll ask you the same thing I asked Clyde.
It's a step in the right direction.
It does, because there's nothing better than beating Louisville.
Yeah.
But the South Carolina loss is still, it should have never happened. It should have never happened. We shouldn't have lost that game. But
no,
it is what it is. We'll go to a bowl game on December 30th or something like that. Play somebody.
I'm going to make you
at 8-5.
I'll make you a prediction.
So
I think we're going to play in the Duke's Mayo Bowl in North Carolina, and I think we're going to play the Duke Blue Devils. And I think that could be a really intriguing matchup for Kentucky.
that'd be great.
I would love to play Duke in football.
Duke
Actually,
Yeah.
You know what I'm hoping? I'm hoping we play Clemson because there's some Clemson.
Real quick. I don't think Stoops is going anywhere. I think it's a bunch of bull crap. I think it's fodder, because I think it's just a bunch of people mad. I think it's just bull crap. He's not going nowhere. I mean, why would you?
I agree. Why would you? Well, money, but
and then there's that big rumor swirling around. We might get Will Rogers in the transfer portal. He's a dynamic.
Yeah, Brad.
He's SEC ready. Me and Brad's talked about it a little bit here and there on chat. So I mean, Barry Brown's coming back. Dan Key's coming back. We're losing Ray Davis. But I mean, we got big running backs coming in next year. I mean, they killed it in recruiting. So I mean, the sky's the limits. I mean, yes, again, we didn't have the season we dreamt of, but we did stop Louisville's dream season.
And that's the best part of all this. Corey Price says Ray Davis has now set a new UK football single season record for most touchdowns scored with 20. Yep, with 20. So that's awesome. Kentucky
broke Benny Snell's record actually today.
Yes, he did. Kentucky scored their most points in the second half of a road game since September 28th, 2002 at Florida when they scored 34 in the second half. But Josh, got anything else before we let you go?
No, I'm just excited. I'm really excited about our basketball team. They played exceptionally well against Marshall last night.
I thought they did too.
That was the biggest point. I think the biggest point production
under Calipari
by a Calipari team ever, maybe.
It is.
I mean, we won back-to-back games. Both teams won. Our basketball Cats won yesterday. Football Cats won today. Volleyball girls won the SEC championship. So
that's right, they did.
We get a little down, and then they bring us back up. So I guess that's part of being a big blue nation Kentucky fan. You got to keep your heart.
Josh, we just want to talk about the women's basketball team.
I'm just very, very, very happy that we beat Louisville today.
We'll sweep that one up.
Amen, man. Well, thanks for calling in.
Yep. You guys have a great night. Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats,
Brad
man.
said we won't talk about the women's basketball team. Yeah,
we're going to sweep that one under the rug.
Yeah,
this
well,
week.
Nobody look at that. Yeah, nobody look over there. Hey, we can talk a little basketball if we want. Mike Dowd says, will Bradshaw will be back for the Miami game?
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you.
I don't know, man.
I think he should be. I don't know if he will be.
He should be. But...
And I'm not saying that the kid is going to play 25 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
But he is building. He's excited. He's tweeting about it. He's showing up for practice. He's 2.5 hours before the game. He's at shoot-arounds. I mean, the kid wants to play. You can see it. And he was cleared, and I realized that he has to, build back his stamina and be game ready and all that kind of stuff. But give the kid 10, 12 minutes, 5-6 minutes a half, and let's just see what he can do. I'm not saying he's ready to go in there and play 18, 25, minutes or anything like that, but give the kid 5 or 6 minutes a half.
Stoops said in his post-game presser, he said the SEC will prepare you for anybody. We'll leave it at that.
I mean, guys, the SEC, that's why I said we have played 4 top 10 teams right now this year. Name another school in the country that has done
that. Yep. Drew Franklin, who hates Louisville more than any of us, tweeted, "Hi, my name's Drew Franklin, and I'm addicted to Louisville fumbles." That's nice. I love the way, Drew says it better than any of us. What's this thing about oxygen? He said here. He said, just if you need Louisville memes, just go to Drew's page. Said I need a go big blue through my TV speakers like I need oxygen. Yep. I agree. But anybody else that wants to call in, 502-234-1504. Your thoughts on the game, bowl game. So what are you feeling on the bowl games, Brad? Do you think are you hearing the Mayo Bowl?
Before this game, when we were at 6 wins, I had heard there was a pretty good chance that we would be in that Duke Mayo Bowl.
Yep.
That's what I was hearing before this win. I got a feeling that this might up us just a little bit. Maybe we go
Gator
to the Liberty Bowl, huh?
Gator Bowl or Liberty Bowl?
I'm thinking Liberty, maybe.
Is Liberty a step up from Mayo? I mean, it sounds like it is.
I think the
Liberty.
Mayo is actually one of the last SEC assignments
Bowls
for the bowl games. Yeah.
I mean, if I had to choose between Liberty and mayonnaise,
I'd
probably take Liberty all day.
To the Music City Bowl. So you guys, because we were there last year, they won't put us there back to back. We won't go. So that rules that one out. So the only other one, I think it might be the Liberty Bowl, would be a guess for me.
You don't think Gator Bowl? You're not thinking that one? Probably not.
No, there's too many teams. I mean, Tennessee's 8-4, beat us.
Texas
LSU,
Bowl?
Yeah, maybe that one. Maybe that one.
That could be one.
Might be an option.
Yeah. I would like to play Duke, though. I mean, that would be cool if we play Duke in football. I just think that'd be an intriguing game.
Elko's a good coach. Now I'm telling you.
If you're going to go to a bad bowl, you may as well play a team like Duke. Play
he's another
team.
name that in that Stoops report.
Yep.
Mike Elko, the Duke coach, was another name that was tied to Texas A&M.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
There's also a picture floating around on Twitter here of Ray Davis throwing the L's down at Jack Harlow after he scored the last touchdown, which is
good for him.
Another awesome. Listen, there's so many great things.
If we're Kentucky fans today, it's a little different. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna talk real here for just a minute. And it's a little different throwing the L's down than literally flipping people off. Okay?
Yes. Yep.
It's a little different,
it is a little different.
Have Jack Harlow, I'm calling you out. Have some class. Man. Have some class.
Yeah. What's his song? First Class? He doesn't have any class.
I mean, seriously, have some class, dude. Like, seriously, I don't care if you're 22, 23, learn something.
Well,
seriously,
he's a Louisville.
Have some class.
He's a Louisville fan. He doesn't have class.
Seriously, dude. Like, I just don't understand. I mean, the rivalry thing and the whole L's down and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's all fun.
That's a little fun. And I can say the same thing about Texas fans with the old, horns down and they throw a fit and everything. I mean, that's just a rivalry thing. But Jack Harlow, seriously, dude, have some class. Flipping people off.
I agree with that.
Flipping fans off and flipping people off, double doing it, setting it on stage and acting all bad and everything.
Yeah.
That's trash, dude. That's trash.
Mark Stoops, Mike Elko, Kyle Whittingham, Jed Fish, and Jeff Traylor are 5 leading candidates.
Yeah, that's what I said. Elko's name was in that same report that had Stoops' name in it from Duke.
Mark Stoops on his name.
And Elko is actually an ex-assistant coach at Texas A&M. So he has some ties.
Okay, here Mark Stoops in his postgame presser was asked about his name being linked to the Texas A&M coaching vacancy, and his reply, Brad, was, "Come on, you know better than that."
Stoops has been dedicated to Kentucky since he's been here.
And he also said, this is a big win for our program and state. I'm keeping the focus and concentration on our team. So, I mean, who knows? Do you read that as he's staying, or do you still think there's a chance he'd duck out?
Listen, unless the 4 wins or 4 losses in a row this time, or 4 out of 5 that we just had, unless that just really devastated him. He has always been dedicated to Kentucky. He has wanted to build this. He's wanted to leave a legacy and not just jump from school to school like some of these dudes do in the game of football now and basketball. I think Stoops wants to build a legacy. He wants to do something similar to his brother did, that his father did.
Yeah.
And he wants to leave a legacy.
Yep. I think he does too, and I think he can. I think, like I said, I think it'd be stupid to go to Texas A&M. I think it'd be stupid for anybody to go to Texas A&M, because you could win 9-10 games there, and they'll still pay $76 million to fire you. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't know why you would want to go there. Stoops would almost certainly get fired if he went there, unless you're winning national championships. It just doesn't matter.
Unless you can beat Bama.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Unless you can beat Bama consistently, which who wants to say that they can do that?
And now you got to worry about Texas, and you got to worry about Oklahoma, and you got to worry about Georgia, because there's no divisions anymore. So
what's the one Jack Harlow song? It's he says something like, "Call me young Patino because I'm good in both towns." I would argue that he was not good in both towns, because in one town he got a title stripped and he was doing things in Italian restaurants. So I wouldn't call that good in both towns. So
no, he
definitely
was not good in the other town. That's for sure. Not in the grand scheme of things.
No, I don't think so either. Patino's Bambinos. Mike Dowd. I don't believe the Ohio guys he recruits would follow him to A&M. They'll stay coming to Kentucky, not far from home. Well, that's part of it. The regional. I do think he's kind of nailed down the Ohio recruiting pipeline
because it's just a few hours away. It's a drive away. 4, 5, 6 hours away.
Down to Texas A&M, you got to recruit against Texas, Baylor, Oklahoma, LSU. So why would you want to do that and have the stakes be much higher? That's why, again, I would be shocked if he was the first choice for A&M. And I'd also be shocked if Stoops would actually want to leave for A&M. It could happen. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible. It could happen.
Guys, the last 3 or 4 years, every year at the end of the season, there is a rumor that Stoops is a candidate for some job. Every year,
Michigan or at LSU or
every year,
Texas A&M or whatever. Claude says Stoops is the best coach we ever had. To be fair, that is not what Claude was saying yesterday.
2 days ago, that's not what Clyde was saying, just so y'all know.
I will not read his text on the air, but that is not what he was saying. But that just goes to show, it all depends on the weekend. And to quote Mark Stoops, to kind of round things out here before we get out of here, to quote Mark Stoops, it only takes a week to be humbled. Our emotions depend on each week, depend on every single game. We feel like we can beat anybody right now because we just took down Louisville at Louisville. But last week we lose to South Carolina, who's also terrible.
Let's be honest, guys. This Louisville team, as good as they were ranked 9th in one poll, 10th in one poll. They're like 9th or 10th in the college football playoff rankings right now. And all of that is rather ridiculous. And I've been saying it on my show all season long. Let's be honest. How many SEC teams could this Louisville team play and actually beat?
Maybe Vandy,
Mississippi State
for sure this year. Yep.
But even Auburn would be a tough one for them. Florida would probably be a tough one for them. South Carolina would be a tough one for them.
Probably would. Maybe. Depending on, I just feel like South Carolina is such a different team depending on where they play.
Home and away. They are.
But well, we'll do sort of a last call for calls here as we read some scores from around the country here before we round out here. So 502-234-1504. Alabama is up on Auburn 17-14 in the Iron Bowl at the start of the second half here. Arizona completely destroying Arizona State 45-7. BYU,
for real guys. That Arizona team is legit.
They are. BYU is beating Oklahoma State 24-13 third quarter. Tennessee taking care of Vanderbilt 31-10.
Michigan beat Ohio State. Big win today for the college football playoff.
Coming in on halftime here, Washington is only up a touchdown on Washington State 14-7. A team that's undefeated is currently in the college football playoff. Michigan takes down Ohio State today 30-24. LSU takes down Texas A&M after a slow start 42-30. We got some great games coming up.
Right there for just a second.
Yeah.
If LSU only had a defense.
If LSU had a defense, they'd be in the playoff. Yep.
If LSU only had a defense, I mean, holy cow, guys. Seriously,
they
all year long. Jaden Daniels, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how you don't give that kid the Heisman. I really don't.
Yep. I think they will. I hope they do.
I don't know how you don't.
I hope they do. Florida State goes to the Swamp to take on Florida tonight. Any chance the Gators can get that upset, Brad, with Florida State having their starting quarterback?
I mean, that game was changed last week so much. They're both playing backup quarterbacks, both teams.
Yep.
And it's just it's hard to really say, you know. I mean, you don't know, you know. So the quarterback that Florida is using tonight, Graham Mertz, is kind of a drop back pocket passer.
Yep.
But the guy that they're playing tonight, this Benson kid, I think is his last name, is a running dual threat quarterback. He's not a, you know, and he's never played before. So look for LSU or for Florida to run the ball heavily with their backs and their quarterback tonight and see if they can do some damage that way against Florida State. I'm not saying they will. I think that's what they're going to try.
No, I think so. I think so too. Let's see. To round this out, speaking to Drew Franklin, I remember last year because Vegas always has Louisville beating us for some reason, even when they're way worse than us. So even like last year, Drew Franklin was all about it because he, of course, bet Kentucky to cover because why wouldn't you? And let's see if I can get this pulled up here.
7.5 point underdogs today.
Yeah, which makes sense. But even last year, I think we were a 3-point underdog, and we ended up winning by 30 something. And Drew just does not understand. I saved this little clip of Drew on my phone, because he doesn't understand why Vegas always has us as an underdog to them. So, who better than Drew Franklin to talk about Louisville?
God, this is just so much fun. Great. For a second this week, I thought maybe I was stupid. Because last year, we get the spread comes out. Kentucky's a dog last year at Louisville, 3-point dog. And we're all like, what in the hell's Vegas thinking? We all hammer it. 3 points today. I thought that was outrageous when it came out. I hammered it. And then I'm watching shows. Even our own Freddie this morning was talking about Louisville's going to do this, Louisville do that. Why do people fall for this time and time again? They suck. They absolutely suck. They lead the nation in sacks, and they lead the nation in sucks. And hold on.
They lead the nation in sucks.
Yeah, lead the nation in sucks. Yep. But
that's pretty funny.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's yet another Kentucky win over Louisville. It puts us in a feel good sort of situation going into the postseason. It was a much needed win for this fan base. Much needed win for this fan base.
Hopefully, there's not too many opt outs going to the bowl.
Hopefully not.
That's something that we all, need to look at, and hopefully Stoops most time has kept his players from doing the opt out. Last year there was a few because of injury.
Leary already said he's going to play in the bowl game, so that's good.
Right. Ray Davis, I think, is going to play. I think so. Hopefully, we won't see too many opt-outs, and we can go into a bowl game strong and get our 8th win of the season, at least in the season 8-5. That would be, you know what I mean? Like that. I mean, I'm not saying that is the season that I wanted. To be honest with you, I picked us 8-4. I had us winning like the South Carolina game or the Missouri game at home, one of those two. I had us at least winning one of those two. And, if we would have won a bowl and won one of those, we could have 9 wins. And I kind of thought that would be the max this year. But 8-5, considering we played 4 top 10 teams and a top 25 team, that we've lost, well, we won one of those. We lost 4 of those. In all honesty, we are Kentucky football. I love Kentucky football. Just so you guys know, and I don't know if I ever even told you this. My brother-in-law played for Kentucky.
You have not told me that. I did not know this. It's a good time to bring it up on our last post-game show, though. It's a good time to bring it up.
I've been going and been tied to Kentucky program for a long time. I do have a tie to Kentucky football program. My brother-in-law is an ex-Kentucky football player. He actually played on the team with Tim Couch.
There you go. That's a good team to play on.
He went to the Outback Bowl with Couch, and he actually was the leading tackler. He was a safety. His name is Jeff Zerker. You guys can look him up. True story. He transferred in. He only played at Kentucky 2 years, his junior and senior year. But both years was the 2 years that Couch was basically running the program. Tim Couch was there, Craig East, all that bunch. And even before that, had a few ties here and there, but I've been tied to the Kentucky football program. I am diehard true fan for Kentucky football all my life.
Too. Yep.
And I mean, I can go back. I remember the 83 and the 84 Hall of Fame bowls. A long time ago. So, that's something I haven't told you guys. I don't even think I've told Coleman.
No, you haven't told me. No, that's the first time hearing of it.
My sister is married to Jeff Zerker. He's my brother-in-law, and he's an ex-Kentucky football player, number 42.
Well, there we go. So safety. Brad's got the connections there. Safety
in 97 and 98 with the Tim Couch, Craig East teams.
So he would have been under Hal Mummy, right?
And Leach. He knows
Leach.
He knows Mike Leach really. He was really tore up about that.
I miss Mike Leach, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, guys, enjoy this win. This is a day to celebrate. These don't come all the time. Well, like beating Louisville, that does happen all the time. So that you don't have to feel like that's a once in a lifetime thing. But enjoy this win, because big wins against Louisville don't always happen because they usually suck. Brad, they're not very good usually. So, but they're actually good this year. So, well, not good, but everybody thought they were good before this game.
I mean, they're 10-1. They went through their schedule. They did what they were supposed to do. I mean, honestly, the game that they did lose, they lost to a 3-8 Pittsburgh team.
Exactly.
So I mean, really, they should have been 11-0. To be honest with you,
should have been. Yeah, like I was saying earlier in the show.
The only teams they played the entire year that was worth any salt in college football at all was Notre Dame, which was a surprise that they won, and then they beat Duke and they beat a bad Miami team.
Yep.
And that's it. That's the only teams they have played that's worth a crap.
It is. But add this to the list of Louisville victories. We had the Stevie got loose game. We had the Myron Pryor picking up the fumble and running it back, 70 yards or whatever. We had the Lynn Bowden year. We had the Will Levis 2 years where he's running all over him. And we have this
Jackson year fumble,
the Lamar fumble. Yeah, the Stevie Johnson.
Yeah.
I love the Stevie
Will
Johnson
hurdle.
Or the Steve Johnson first play of the game. We go out there and they knew it was going to be a touchdown before we even snapped the ball. And Steve Johnson looked over at I think it was Garrett Johnson, the receiver that caught it, right? And looked over and said, I love this blank. Right? Snapped the ball, threw like a 70-yard touchdown pass, first play of the game. That was the Lamar fumbled game. And so add this to the list, guys. It's a good one. So well, and Brad, thanks to you for doing these post-game shows with me all season long, man. It's been fun. It's been a nice addition to the Talking Kentucky arsenal here. And the college sportscast arsenal.
Actually, it's been fun for me. It's been a nice addition to college sportscast. Kentucky's my first love, always has been. Anything to do with college sports, and it's good to have that to lean on and tie to just talk Kentucky stuff for a while. I want to throw this out at you. I mean, we've got early signing day about like December the 18th or something like that. I have to look it up exactly. And then, we'll have the bowl game. So, I mean, maybe we could talk about some of those if you want to, come on and do a little something.
Yeah.
And continue this, through the off season.
Absolutely, man. That'd be awesome.
And I'll join you for a basketball talk as well, because I can do that.
We'll do some basketball ones too. No, for sure.
I can do that as well. It's not just Kentucky football. I'm actually a Kentucky basketball fan first and foremost.
Well, there you go.
And
Caden's only a basketball fan, so.
Well, I'm first. My first love was Kentucky basketball, but
yeah,
pretty quickly I picked up Kentucky football as well, and I've been a fan all my life. So.
Well, nevertheless, it's been a good year. We'll do one more of these this season for the bowl game, whenever that is. We'll keep you guys updated about that. But next thing on my end of things for Talking Kentucky, we'll do a post-game show for the Miami game. When is the Miami game? I don't know. Is that Monday?
Tuesday
night. Okay, Tuesday. Well, we'll do a Tuesday night.
It's 7:30. I think it's 7:30 Eastern time, so it'd be 6:30 Central, I believe.
Well, we'll do one for that. And you guys go follow College Sportscast too on all the things, and follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the things. And then we'll be back with regular Talking Kentucky episodes next Thursday night. We were off this week for Thanksgiving. Like I said, hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Don't let the Louisville quarterbacks carry its turkey to the table. So it's been a good one. Well, for Coleman Scott and for Brad Harvey and for Kentucky football getting another win over the Louisville Cardinals, and for fishing the regular season 7-5, this has been, yes, L's down. We've got to throw the L's down. Yeah, new cover photo. Yeah, it's got to be. That's right. Yes, we got to get that. So for Coleman Scott, for Brad Harvey, this has been the Talking Kentucky postgame show, and we'll see you all next time. Go Cats. L's down forever.